Let's take a look now at the highlights across the Eliminator. We started, of course, with the full field, and there was plenty of tactics going on as they headed out on the swim. We knew that only the top 15, that's all you needed to worry about, but Richard Varga does not know how not to win a swim.
He jumps off the blocks, he takes 3 strokes and he's leading. I'd love to know what that feels like. I've never experienced that in my life.
Well, it looked somewhat dry, but those roads were very, very wet for those athletes. So coming into that first round of the day, there were some crashes, and again, unfortunately, the Irish did not have much luck on this course.
Yeah, Benny Shaw hit the deck twice over the weekend, and this one was a tough one. Ryan Fisher showed his hand then for the first time. He was very aggressive.
Igor Polyansky, speaking of aggressive, was aggressive all across today, and he was aggressive all across the weekend. His brother struggled badly at times, but Igor certainly tried to push the pace, as did Matt Hauser, who didn't mind leading from the front. But Christian Blumenfeld, not once but twice today, decided that it was time to win one.
Yeah, and without question, when you watch that first race, it was really a game of poker. Race 2. Only,
yeah, race 2,
only 15 in race 2, so it was a lot less congested in the swim, even though that first cam was tight. And again, Richard Varga on the front.
Well, the Polyansky brothers have certainly, like you said, they've been racing on the world stage too, but it was time for the younger brother to shine through, and his older brother, Dimitri, did get eliminated in that first round.
It was a very tough second. It's always tough going up that hill first off as well. I don't know how they managed to do that each and every time, but this was, again, a game of tactics, but it was just a faster game of tactics, this one, as everyone tried to count heads all the way through into and out of transition, and again on the run. It was a game of who's on the bubble, how hard do I have to push myself, and Ryan Fisher always seemed to push the pace.
Well, Ryan Fisher said to himself, look, I'm not as fast a runner as these guys. He tended to flow back in those runs, so he knew he had to be aggressive on the bike, and he was aggressive then in race 2.
Blumenfeld with another win, as we said, and he got to pick a spot which he did in the middle of the pontoon for the 3rd race of 10, and this is where, well, tactics went out the window, and it was just about who is the fastest. And I guess when you've got $100,000 on the line, you want it to be just about that. Don't worry about tactics, who's got it in the legs after 3 days of racing. And as we saw, there was none of that tactics in the water. It was spread out as everyone pushed the pace, and we found out who had it left and who didn't.
Yeah, and it was really a sign of fatigue here. You started to see people drop off, leave a few gaps on the bike. Again, the Australians were very, very aggressive, and this is when Jacob Birtwistle, I thought, looked fantastic. He was smart on the bike, he pushed early, the early breakaway. The 2 swimmers, Varga and Polyansky, tried to steal a lap, but they were brought in again by Ryan Fisher.
Yeah, it's very hard to have a breakaway that stands. We saw it once yesterday on the bike with the pair of Aussies, and again with Fisher this time. He gave himself 16 seconds, but it looked like a lot less once Richard Murray decided to hit the gas.
But it set up Ryan Fisher's entire race, and had they got off the bike together, he wouldn't have finished in the position he did. But those 3 there, the best runners of the weekend, and the pushing pace here was hectic.
That is a sprint, and for me, Jacob Birtwistle finishing a gruelling weekend with a sprint finish, and he more than deserved that win and a spot on the podium. But it was Richard Murray's weekend from start to finish, to be honest, and he was never headed from the way he worked on Friday all the way through. He knew what he was doing, he was smart, and he deserves that $100,000.
8 races in 48 hours. I mean, this is what these guys have gone through, so I think there's certainly some champagne worthy to be not being sprayed around. They should be enjoying some celebrations tonight.
I think they'll need to rehydrate first before they have any champagne, 100%.